guys, welcome back to SportsKhabri, and this is a special video. We're doing this one with Prasen, who is not only an RCB fan but also works for RCB. We've done so much content of over RCB in the last, month or so during the IPL that it becomes hard to do content about any other team. So every time we find somebody who is more remotely related to RCB, who remotely wants to talk about RCB, we're like, yeah, bro, come. We'll do one RCB based podcast. And once I met you and I realized that, dude, like you're also RCB fan, you're working for RCB, we're like, bro, let's do this because it's always fun to talk about RCB. Prasen, season is over, but how do you feel? How do you think the season went? And just like, is it fun to talk about RCB even when the season's not going on?
First of all, thank you for having me, Rahul. It's quite fun to be talking to you because I don't know a lot of people if a lot of people know, but like we know each other from the gym, and that's not like a place that I would frequent before the IPL. But yeah, I mean it's honestly fun to be talking RCB. But for us as fans, as now that we're employed with RCB, we can see the hate that comes from the outside. We can see the love that comes from the outside. So it's a mix of both. I'd like to say. And I mean, whenever we talk about RCB, obviously over the years we've had so much star power. Every season comes with like renewed hopes. That one hashtag that all of us have been barred to say, and I hope no one ever uses it again. But that one hashtag sort of defines what RCB has been for so many seasons. This season also, obviously, we had so much hope, but then we sort of like lost crucial games, especially the one that we lost against Lucknow. I think if we had won that match, which we were primed to, we could have probably made the playoffs without even depending on that last game against Gujarat. So, I mean, in the IPL, you have 10 very good teams, and so like on your day, if you're not on the top of your game, then obviously you end up where you are. So it was tough to digest the fact that we didn't make the playoffs, dude, because like when we went into the season, we were like, oh my God, new season, we're going to nail it and everything. And when like the playoffs venues came to us, they're saying Chennai, they said Ahmedabad, they're like, oh my God, we're going to see Ahmedabad and things like that. But unfortunately, it is the way that it is. And we lost. But yeah, it was great fun. And I think making content for RCB is like a completely different ball game altogether. But yeah, like it's definitely, it was a fantastic experience. And this year, in fact, we also had the women's team. So that was an additional thing. Like it was a new thing for all of us. Like no one knew what to deal with. So yeah, it was quite fun. It was a very good 2.5 month period for me.
I think there's a lot to talk about. Of course, we'll talk about the WPL, we'll talk about IPL and how it was. Guys, completely forgot to mention Prasen's content manager and producer for RCB. That's what he does. But before, again, this is supposed to be about Prasen. Sorry, dude. Like, I'm going to keep you waiting for a little longer. Let's
No
just
worries.
quickly, bro, like, what is this relationship with RCB, dude? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to feel sometimes. Like you said, you come in with the season, you come into the season with so much expectation. You're like, bro, this year. We did a podcast before the season started. Four guys, one more guy in this with Jim, one, she was also there. And dude, like two of us had RCB winning it. We're like, dude, that optimistic hope that you have every season, it's different, or it's a completely different thing. But where do you think we missed out? But honestly, like when I looked at it objectively, I was like, okay, dude, we didn't have a good Indian number five. We didn't have
Yeah.
that. DK was not DK of last season, and we probably missed an Indian spinner as well. So where do you think it kind of fell off for RCB this time?
A fan's relationship with RCB is like one of those secretive couples that you see in India, right? Like the girl and the boy don't want to tell their parents that they're in love, but like, they're still in love and they're like, oh my God, one day this is going to happen. We'll tell our
Yeah,
parents.
nice.
But like, I mean, honestly, I think this season more than anything, I feel what we were lacking is that Indian batsman who could give us that firepower. We saw a lot of it in the last bit of previous season where Rajat Patidar, came and fired, and he sort of scored that century as well against Lucknow. So after Virat, Faf, and Maxi got out this season, it was more like who's going to take up the responsibility. And we saw a few glimpses here and there, like we saw Anuj Rawat against Rajasthan. We saw Suyash playing in one game. Mahipal Omror hit that 50 against the Delhi Capitals. So there were a couple of glimpses here and there, but then again, an IPL team comprises of 11 players. And I think for us, the issue was that apart from Virat, Faf, Maxi, and of course Siraj, no one else really had a very good season that could propel us to wins, right? So, and when we just had these four players performing, it was eventually a case of like us not being able to string together individual performances. Like if one game Faf and Kohli played, the next game just Faf would play, or just Kohli would play, or just Maxi would play. So it was a very tough season in the sense that we didn't have different people standing out and at least their performances coming together in every game. And hopefully that changes next year, because of course, I mean, very honestly, it was out there for everyone to see how much we miss Rajat Patidar, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
if he was there in the 11, I think he would have slotted into that number 3, and would have just obviously, like, he's a very very good player. So that sort of a talent I think we missed, and that was the biggest issue for us in some sense.
Dude, I completely agree with you. Even before the IPL season started, we had heard that Patidar would miss the first half initially, right? And
Yeah.
even then, I was like, even if he plays just half the IPL season, it's going to be a huge bonus for RCB. And
Hmm.
if he even if plays half the season, he could probably take us to the playoffs. And
Hmm.
obviously, that wasn't to be. But anyways, let's start talking about you. Prasen, dude, like before we move to RCB and everything that comes with RCB and your job at RCB, like how did you start off? Because I know you now, I know your story, but like in your own words, what was it like? How did you start off? What did you study? Where did this come from? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to end up working with sports teams or enter the sports field, but they just don't know how, and everybody's confused. I myself did not know how to do it. I just randomly made different places, and I'm so glad that sports Kabri happened for me, but a lot of people don't know what to do. So how did it start off?
Yeah, so I think, like, just before I tell my story, I feel in our domain of journalism as a whole, I think the one word that people need to live and die by is to be shameless, right? And a lot of people think being shameless is bad, but I feel that is something that's very necessary. Say, for example, like, nowadays in our sports journalism especially, everything runs by exclusives. Like if you just pick up a report that, let's say, PTI or Crickbuzz or Cricinfo have written, it doesn't have value. Whereas if you actually go and interview a cricketer, get his story, get her story, then it has so much value. So, but for that, you need to be shameless. Like, I can't tell you how much I have personally DM'd these cricketers on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, I know for a fact that they don't have any business to respond to me. Like, why? For example, I DM'd Finn Allen one day on Instagram, and I was at SportsKhabri, and I was like, listen, I want to write a story, this, that. And he was very gracious enough to just, ping me back and say that I'm on a tour right now and I just can't
Hmm.
talk and all that, and I'll get back to you. But like, obviously, for example, Ish Sodhi is someone that I interviewed through Instagram DM. So, and very interestingly, because you brought up my story, I was the pretty much the dead opposite of what a Sharmaji ka beta is, who scores 99 in his exams. I would pretty much score 39 and get away and just pass and all of that. And so I just like any other true South Indian, I did my engineering as well. And
Yeah.
I basically did my BTech instrumentation engineering. And after the first year of my engineering, I went to my parents and I said, guys, listen, I genuinely don't think this is what I'm cut out for. I'll promise you that I'll pass. Like, at the end of 4 years, you won't see me repeating a half a year or a whole year. But I don't think this is what I'm cut out for, and I don't want to do a job related to engineering. And so they were like, okay, then what do you want to do? Like, do you know what you want to do? And I said, I feel I'll at least start writing and that in sports, because I mean, I'm a sports nut, dude. Like, I just follow everything and anything possible. Like, I watch random T10 matches. I watch, if Italy is playing France, I'll probably watch that. And like, now I've also gone and gotten into different sports. So, but eventually, like, after I told them, I started freelancing with SportsKhabri in 2016. I was lucky enough to get a call from this guy called Aniruddha Mishra, who said that SportsKhabri is looking out for freelancers. Do you want to join? I said, yeah, sure. So 2016 to 19 is when I freelanced, and up until my final end sem exam of 8th semester, I didn't have a job with me, and I wasn't sure if SportsKhabri would give me a job, because I had reached out to them a couple of times telling them that, look, my engineering is ending. I don't have anything. I can't just freelance all my life. So I really need a job. But they were like, there's really nothing. If there's something, we'll let you know. And I still remember my process control exam, like the one subject I was really, really bad at, had one backlog in that, had a backlog in the lab, managed to clear it. But one day before that exam, I get a call from SportsKhabri saying, there's a guy leaving, do you want to join it? I was like, obviously, like, there's nothing more that I love. So 2019, I joined as a sports editor. And then 2020, of course, COVID hit. There were a lot of people who left, a lot of people who wanted to go back to freelancing. So that's when I got my opportunity to become cricket manager. And then 2021, because I follow a lot of Indian sports, they made me cricket and Indian sports content head. And basically in 3 years, I got a very good, I got very good exposure into the world of sports journalism. And 2023, like this Feb, I basically got a call from RCB saying, the producer and content manager there is leaving. Do you want to join it? So I said, yeah, of course. I mean, it would be like a close to what a dream job would be. So I joined them, and yeah, well, so here I am. 4 years after passing engineering, barely passing engineering, I'm doing something completely unrelated to engineering. So that's my story.
But that's the fun part, bro, dude. And bro, when I heard your story, at least like when you told me, I was like, dude, that is so ideal. Like that. I mean, at least in my life, I was always like, what is the path? Like there was nobody to tell you, and then after you enter, say the sports industry, and there are people around you, like people you work with, who are kind enough to help you and tell you that this is what you need to do. But until you get in, there's I really didn't have anyone, and I had absolutely no idea. And I'm hopefully there are guys who are sitting in their I don't know BTech classrooms, or I was a law student. I just finished my law, and even I'm not doing anything remotely like close to law right now. So hopefully
Yeah.
everybody is listening, and you have opportunities clearly in the sports industry as well. But Prasen, dude, what is it that you do with RCB? What is the job like? And yeah.
So basically, a majority of my role is to script videos that we do at RCB. So, of course, like I think among all franchises, we have the most varied buckets in terms of content. So we do RCB Bold Diaries, we do RCB 12th Man TV, we do RCB Insider. So there are different properties, and because this was my first season at RCB, I completely handled RCB 12th Man TV. So the management was kind enough to give me the whole vertical and say that just be the producer for this mainly. So my role was to make sure that before every match I had to script or rather, like if I say script, it'll sound wrong in an IPL sense, but it was to basically write down the narrative of what we want to say on camera, how we want to preview every single game, what we want to talk about. Say, for example, before the first game, we dug out the stats of RCB Mumbai. We spoke to fans. So a majority of it is also to make sure that fans come and talk to camera, because Bangalore is filled with RCB fans, bro. But the problem
Oh yeah.
is we won't find people who will genuinely want to talk. Like if they can talk, they're scared of the camera, or if they're scared of if they're not scared of the camera, they're not willing to talk. So that was basically the biggest challenge for me, I'd say, is to find out, like to figure out when fans will come and talk and all of that. So I had to script the video. I had to make sure that the anchor, in this case Navneet, Navneet and I must say, like James, our videographer, like both of them were like so good with me during my first day, because it's always a challenge, right? Like you're wondering where you can go wrong, and of course, like everything will have its own ups and downs, but like they were really good with me. And of course, like the whole team, I was lucky enough to travel with the team, so I got to see how they do Bold Diaries, like even scripting these player videos that we do. Like we figure out the stats, we go and talk to players, we ask them questions, we talk to coaches, we ask them questions. So it's a fantastic team to be a part of, because like everyone knows their cricket, and like everyone
Mhm.
knows the job that they're supposed to do. So my role was to make sure that I script the video, get the video shot, and then the editor puts the video together. I have a look at the video and see whether it's worth to be published. If there are any errors, I give it back to the editor and tell him that this needs to be changed, and then we send it to our head, and then he obviously suggests some changes as per what he feels is necessary, and then we make the final edit and we put it out on social media. So that's basically what I was in charge of, apart from also running articles on the website. So royalchallenges.com obviously has articles as well. So we have writers as well. So to make sure that they were writing articles and then we were publishing it, making sure that we write relevant topics and publishing it. So that was basically the entirety of what my role was, or is even in fact right now.
Every RCB fan who's watching, you're enjoying the content. This is how much effort that goes in before the content comes out.
Uh,
But speaking about Navneet Krishna, obviously, how is it working with him? I was actually just flipping the channels and I landed up on the UAE West Indies ODI series. I think
hmm.
is he over covering that?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
felt
He
like
was
I
doing
heard him
commentary for
in
that. Yeah,
commentary,
yeah,
yeah, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, but how is it working with him?
It's great, man. I mean, his journey is like no one else, right? Like even he started off in Google. He left a very high-paying job at Google to come and pursue his career in broadcast, and it's great. Like you should, if like I mean, for all the RCB fans or even in general, like anyone listening in, you guys should be at the RCB Bar and Cafe for any RCB game that happens during the season. Oh man, it's a complete vibe. Like he absolutely turns the place into like a mini Chinnaswamy. So it's just crazy, like the fanfare that is there. And he's been doing this for like what 4 5 seasons now. So he's also a household name in RCB in RCB content at least. So it's great working with everyone. Is very passionate. Like that's one thing, and I think that's the most important thing that drives all of us. Like I was saying. So I made the switch from writing to video, which is like completely different. It's like how today morning you're playing a test match and in the evening you're going and playing a T20 match. It's like completely different. Like your mindset is changed entirely. So that's one thing that I had to adapt and I had to learn on the job how to put my words into video format, because in video you can't write a 2000 word piece, right? You have to put it in 20 words, you have to put it in like 25 30 words. So like learning on the job, and of course everything like was great fun. And I think we worked with a fantastic team. Like every single person was great, and I made so many friends. It was amazing to literally like when I was leaving Sportskida, like because see what the thing is 2016 I started, and so I've also grown with the company until for like
Yeah.
6 years. So for me to leave and go was like very very difficult, but I'm glad that eventually this worked out. And obviously everyone's great to work with, and it's a great place to work basically.
I think Danish rightly said, content is king at RCB
Yeah.
at least. So it looks like the content team is under more pressure than the players. And I'm just kidding, um, but how is the atmosphere like? How much of a challenge is it? Are there moments where you actually feel like, dude, yeah, you know what, like there is a bit of pressure. Games are coming thick and fast. You said you work with 12th Man TV. You know that obviously 12th Man TV they do previews, guys. So you
Hmm.
come and you have to churn out stats quickly, produce the video
Yeah.
quickly. How much of pressure is it to take that challenge on?
No, definitely, bro. Like, see, with every video we put out, there's always a sense of expectation, right? Because when you consider RCB as a brand with a 10.5, 11 million followers that we have, we know for a fact that at least three-fourth of that population will watch the video. So you're looking at about 6 to 7 million people definitely watching the video, like in any like across platforms. So like that's the thing, is that like obviously you can't cater to every single person, because at least when I came to 12th Man TV, people were happy to be on camera. They knew that like if they come on RCB 12th Man TV, it means that they'll have a lot of eyes on them as well. So it certainly came with a whole lot of expectation and pressure, but I think that is what it means to be a part of such a big establishment, right? Like let's say for example, if I am just going out on the road and doing a random video with fans asking them if RCB will win, I can put out anything. But like when you're working
Yeah.
for RCB, you need to be very, very clear with what you want. Like you need to know why you're doing a particular video, what your intentions are, who you want to target, what sort of content you want to put out. So there are a lot of tangibles in like every single video that we put out, and I think that's the biggest challenge, is to figure out how you can marry all of these ideologies together to form one video. So that is, I think, the biggest challenge. But of course, like as time went on, as we started doing videos, we sort of got into a flow. But yeah, I mean, like you brought up that point of matches coming thick and fast. Like at one point, we were like, "Oh my god! Like this match is over. We're doing the review, but we also need to do the preview for the next game." So there were times when we like sort of did both of them together and all of that. So it was quite
Yeah,
fun, honestly. And yeah, so.
Especially when there's like 1 day gap and like you're playing say
Hmm.
on a Saturday and suddenly you're playing on a Monday again. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Sunday must be like crazy. But yeah,
Yeah. So
anyways.
in when you're working for a team, or like when you're working in the IPL or any tournament as such, you just forget what day of the week it is. Like there is like a Monday doesn't exist. Similarly, a Saturday, Sunday doesn't exist. Every day is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's the thing. Like when you're not working, of course, the pros are that you can hang out with the team and things like that. But work is great, and I like that. It just doesn't make you feel like you're exhausted or anything like that. So that's a very good part of it.
Speaking about hanging out with the team and obviously being a part of RCB, you're obviously around the players also sometimes, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And how much of the fan inside you came out when you saw, initially when you started the WPL, probably like Elise Perry, Smriti Manna,
Mm.
Sophie Devine, and then you move to the men's side and you suddenly see like Virat Kohli and obviously, why am I losing names? Faf and all these guys like Maxi. And how is it?
Yeah, I think you can cut yourself some slack, bro. We just got belted in the WTC, so it's tough to like remember IPL after
Yeah.
that. No, but like I mean, it was great, and like obviously I think the biggest part for us was that, for me rather, was that I've seen all these people on TV for so many years, and suddenly I'm seeing them next to me. I'm talking to them. I'm like having conversations one on one, and like it was obviously like it was very surreal, dude. Like for the first week, I just couldn't believe my eyes when I saw these guys walking in front of me, walking next to me, them calling out my name and all of that. So it was absolutely crazy, and it's an experience that I'll never be able to forget, honestly.
Any particular person that you had like an interesting conversation with, or you probably had a funny laugh with, something that you can remember?
There have been quite a few. Like I was very close to Vaishak, because obviously that
Hmm.
Kannada connect, and
Local
Vaishak and
connection, yeah.
Manoj, and so both, like all three of us were very close. We would go out for lunch and all of that. So just having fun with everyone, dude. Like I mean, obviously it's like when you're friends, you just don't have like one or two moments. Like you're having fun all the time and having a conversation with them. And like I have personally seen Vaishak grow from being rejected by the Karnataka team to making the IPL playing 11. So we've had some great memories, and it's been crazy, like to just share the same space with all of them.
Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's move away from all that seriousness and let's talk, have some fun.
Hmm.
Who's your favorite RCB player of all time?
Of all time.
Of all time.
For me, it's an easy answer, bro. AB without a
Yeah.
doubt. Like, I
Okay.
think like the memories that he's given us. Oh God, like, I mean, I from the top of my head, I can think of like top five AB memories, dude. Like that 1-6 that he hit off Mohammad Shami that went into Cubbon Park. That one-handed Superman catch that he took off Alex Hales. The paddle that he hit of Dale Steyn. And then that 6 hit of Jofra Archer. And dude, like there are the 1-6 hit of, I think it was Irfan Pathan, and the ball landed in the dustbin, bro. Like some really crazy stuff AB's done, and like I think hands down he's my favorite RCB player of all time. I
But what is that?
unfortunately
And
didn't get to meet him, bro. Like that's
oh,
the
and he was around this time. And yeah,
no, he
that
was there only for the unbox, and
yeah.
obviously at that time, like there was so much work happening that obviously we couldn't meet and all of that. So, but yeah, like I mean, I'm hoping someday I can meet him and tell him how much of a like crazy fan I am of De Villiers.
I'm sure he's going to come back for. I mean, he'll. I don't know what capacity and all, but I'm definitely sure he'll come back to Bangalore and you'll get your chance also.
Hopefully, bro. Hopefully.
Yeah. But okay, again, last question. Who's your favorite cricketer of all time? And just tell me like when you started, if any early memories, and just your favorite cricketer of all time.
So it's crazy, right? My Instagram ID is plus Moudgal underscore 4299. Now 42 is basically Brendan McCullum's shirt number, jersey number rather, right?
Okay.
So when I started watching cricket for the first time, I would watch India matches, but I would watch New Zealand matches as well, because I was a Like I was a die-hard fan of McCullum, man. Like the way that like he would take on every single bowler, like be it the biggest of big names, he would just charge down the track and belt them. His fielding as well, I think like he's one of the best fielders of all time. He could wicket keep,
Yeah.
and just like his dynamism, dude. Like and so Brendan McCullum, obviously until that point he retired was my favorite player. But right now, obviously, like for everything that Virat Kohli is doing and what he's been for RCB and for the Indian team, Kohli is my favorite right now. But so the 4299 is 42 is McCullum. The first nine is basically 1+8 in Virat Kohli's jersey
Okay.
number, which is the nine, and nine I consider to be my lucky number. So the
Okay.
4299 is that is what it is. My jersey number is also 42, but it's basically 42 for 49. 42 for McCullum, and the 9 at the end is that 1+8. So I just put 42 plus 1 8, which is the 9, and made it 49. So it's a very
Did you
weird
chuck?
story. People will be like, what are you saying? But that is what it is.
No, dude, but like sports people have like people who watch sport have these crazy things. But like my phone passcode or some stupid shit like this is based on some random football logic. But anyways, did you
Yeah.
chuck your remote at the TV when you saw Virat play at that ball to Scotty Boland?
Oh God, it was crazy, bro. Like I was like, so I was at a friend's place and we were very very keen to celebrate his 50 together. He was on 49.
Yeah, yeah,
He just reaches out to that wide delivery and he edged it, and we were like, oh God. But more than that, I feel Jadeja's wicket was like a stab to the
yeah,
heart,
yeah.
because
Two in
like
one
I mean,
over is
yeah, Jadeja was supposed to be our Rishabh Pant for that game. So I mean, both of the wickets coming back to back was quite hard to digest. But
yeah.
what can you do?
But yeah, okay. Thanks so much, Prasen. Dude, this has actually been loads of fun. Anyways, I'm going to see you soon. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks so much for doing this, dude, and taking the time out. Hopefully, dude, I really hope, please, RCB next year. I don't know. Every year we say the same thing. I'm sure
Oh
you're also
God.
saying the same thing. But yeah, thanks
Yeah.
a lot, dude.
No, bro, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. And I think like honestly, what you're doing right now is something that I feel a lot of people should pick up. When I was young as a journalist, like I was very afraid to get on camera, talk to people, just put myself out there and let people know that I exist. And I feel what you're doing right now in this space, like even honoring content creators, I think is a fantastic initiative. And I feel, again, like I just keep telling everyone I sound like a 50-year-old man, but like everyone just needs to be shameless, dude. Because if you're not shameless, if you're not telling people that you exist, telling people that you want opportunities, then it's just you're never going to sustain as a journalist or in the sports field. So I feel what you're doing is great, and hopefully one day I can get to the level of your gymming as well. Let's see, maybe in
Yeah,
probably a month's time or so, I'll get there. But thanks,
bro,
bro. This is green, great
there are
fun.
younger kids who are doing it better, but yeah, okay. Yeah, but yeah. Chalo. See you, man, Prasen.
Thank you. Thanks so much, brother.
Thanks, man.
Bye.